This is Luke from Emo Electric, and we're really excited to show you the ePropulsion Spirit 2. It is a 2 kilowatt electric outboard with a 3 kilowatt boost mode. So it's equivalent to about a 5 horsepower continuous, maybe a 6-7 in that boost mode. It's that same portable form factor with the battery right on top of the shaft that we're used to with motors like the Spirt 1.0 Plus or the Torpedo Travel, but it's got a lot more power and it can get you up on the plane if you're in an average dinghy with one person. Obviously, it depends on the boat, but when I tried this out the other day, I had 12 miles an hour ripping around up on the plane. Really cool to be able to do that with a small portable electric outboard. Couple important disclaimers here. This is a pre-production model. It is one of about 2 in the US. We're probably the first ones to get our hands on them. Thank you, ePropulsion. But inevitably, there will be some changes to this motor, probably some errors and corrections from this video. So please take a look in the description once you've watched this video, because if there's anything we need to update, we'll put it down there. And then eventually we'll make another video if there are a lot of corrections. That'll be linked right here if we've made it. But that'll be once we get a production unit in June of 2026. So we're going to run you through some of our favorite features here. Also, if you want to pre-order this motor, pre-orders are open. Head over to emoelectric.co. You can put a deposit down, and then as soon as that first production batch arrives in the States, one will be heading your way. Inevitably, there's going to be stocking issues with these motors in 2026. So if you know you want one, get over to our website now. We know for a fact there's going to be a lot of demand for this and not enough motors to go around. So start off with the battery. It's still a nice compact battery that fits right on top of the shaft, but there are a lot of improvements compared to the Spirit Battery Plus. This is officially the Spirit Battery Ultra. It is 1539 watt hours, so about 20% more capacity than the Spirit Battery Plus. It has a USB-C port right here, 45 watt output that you can charge anything that you would charge with a USB-C cable. It also has a power indicator light right on the battery. So I'll show you these right there. If you just click that button, those light up. It shows you your state of charge rounded to the nearest 25%, so you don't have to hook it up to the motor to get an idea of your state of charge, which is great. And then right here is where the charger plugs in. Nice cap that keeps salt water out of there when it's not in use. And to get the battery on and off the motor, there's actually a lever on this side here. So right now the battery is locked on. To take the battery off, we're going to press that lever down and it kind of pushes that battery up a little bit. Spin this back around and you kind of hold the shaft and pull up on the battery and that pops right off. Right there is the connection point on the battery itself. And then if you look on the motor, you can see the other end and notice there's no cable here connecting the motor to the battery, right? Cable free. So when you pop the battery on there, it makes both the physical connection and the connection for power and data. There's a nice cap that's spring loaded. So if you look here a little bit closer, open it up to put the battery on. When the battery is not on, you leave that closed. That helps prevent corrosion and keep water out of those pins. To put the battery on, just slide it right in, push it down a little bit, and then this lever, we're just turning it up. You hear a nice click. You know that you're all locked and ready to go. Another really great improvement is the screen. And actually one thing that's worth noting, to power the motor on, you'll see if I just hold this power button without first turning on the battery, this won't power on. So you've got to hold that button for a couple seconds, power the battery on, then power the motor on. But this display is probably twice the size of the display on the 1.0 Plus or the Spirit Evo, 1.0 Evo, and it's a color display. You get your state of charge out of 100% there. You can toggle between seeing your power output in watts or your speed in knots, kilometers per hour, or miles per hour. You can adjust that in the settings, but you can see your speed because there is a built-in GPS. right there shows that it has GPS signal. If that's flashing, it means it's looking for it. There's also some really great data within this screen that you can see. If you hold mode, data and options, I should say. So with appearance, you can switch between day mode and night mode, which is great if you're using this motor at night. You can also change your brightness. We're going to pop this back to day because it's probably easier to see on camera. But you can adjust your brightness. Right now it's at 3, which is the brightest setting. You can also go down to 2 or 1. Here is where you can adjust between knots, miles, and kilometers. Down in version, you can see exactly what software version different parts of your motor have. With data, you can see exactly how many hours are on the motor. So if you're buying or selling one of these, that's a really nice piece of information to have. And then this motor, just like the Spirt 1.0 Evo, does have a hydro generation function. So if you're sailing, you can leave the motor down, it'll charge the battery, and this shows you how much power you've regenerated with that function. And the last thing on this screen is also neat, the kill switch override. Obviously, we want you to wear your kill switch. It's a really important safety function, but if you're out there and you lose your kill switch, you can come into this screen, turn the override on, and now the motor will work without the kill switch. Just keep in mind, it'll only go up to 50% power or 1,000 watts, which is a good safety feature in my opinion. We're gonna turn that back to off. And there is a way to kind of see error codes and more data kind of within this screen. If you do have an issue, it's really helpful if you're troubleshooting with a dealer to be able to see that information. On the older version, you have to hook up, or your dealer would have to hook this up to a laptop to see a lot of the data that's now available in that display, which is really nice. So remember, if you're interested in a Spirit 2 and you want it for the summer of 2026, the best way to ensure that you can get one is to go over to emoelectric.co and pre-order it. We'll take a deposit now, and then as soon as these get to the United States, we'll send yours out to you. We know there's going to be stocking issues with these this summer. We know they're going to sell really well. They're going to be in high demand. So again, don't wait. Head over to our site now, get the pre-order in. We're expecting delivery in sometime in June. Next up, we'll talk about tilt and trim. One of the most annoying things for me personally about the Spirt 1.0 Plus and a lot of other electric outboards is that they didn't have a shallow water tilt angle. You're either all the way up or all the way down. And then on some boats, even when you were all the way up, your pylon was still in the water. And finally, ePropulsion has solved that one here. So to tilt the motor up, you're just gonna lift this black tab. Once you start to raise the motor, you can let go and you'll hear a little click. And now we're in that 35-degree shallow water tilt angle. So if you're coming into the beach, you can lift the motor up, draw a little bit less water, you're way less likely to run aground. And if you do run aground, it can still continue to come up. Then we get to 70 degrees. That's enough to get it out of the water for most people. But if you have a longer shaft length or if your transom's angled, that might not take it all the way up out of the water, but that's no problem now, because if you pull this back out and keep lifting up, we get all the way up to 90 degrees, which should get that pylon out of the water no matter what kind of boat you have. So some big improvements there. And then just like the Spirit 1.0 Plus, there is an anti-grounding mode. Lift this tab up, slide this other tab aft, and now the motor is in that anti-grounding mode. It's unlocked, so if you do run aground, the motor can pop up. Just keep in mind, if you go into reverse, the motor will also pop up. So make sure that you're not in anti-grounding mode if you are going to use reverse. Another really nice function of this new bracket is it's a lot easier to lock and unlock your steering. So it's a little tough to see on camera, but under here there's a little tab. Let's see if we can show that to you. That little black tab under there. Right here. So right now the steering's unlocked. If you want to lock your steering, press that aft. Doesn't matter if the motor is straight or not. As soon as it comes straight, now it's locked. So this is really helpful in two situations. One, if you're a sailor and you want to use the boat's rudder and tiller to steer and leave this locked centered, you can do that. And then if you're coming into your slip and you want to be able to turn a little bit tighter, you just press that button and now you can steer with the motor again. But even if you aren't a sailor, this is really nice because when you lift up the motor, if you have it locked, it will stay just like this. If you don't have it locked, bring it back down, unlock it here. If you don't have it locked and you lift it up, the weight of the battery will make the motor want to fall. It does only kind of go over 90 degrees. On the older 1.0 Plus, it would want to turn all the way down with the tiller pointed up. It's really annoying. So even if you don't have that locked centered, it's an improvement. But again, if you want your motor to stay straight, flip that tab, and now it's nice and centered like so. Another big area of improvement is the tiller. First off, it's extendable. So there's a little button right there, press it and pull, and now you can get a little bit further in the boat. That's really important if you're trying to get up on the plane, right? If all the weight's aft in the boat won't want to plane, but you extend your tiller, you come and sit forward, the boat will pop right up onto the plane if you're in that boost mode on most boats. Obviously, it depends what kind of boat you're on. We're going to push that back, and then right now the tiller is locked at 0 degrees. If we pull this tab all the way out and turn it, our tiller is unlocked, can go up to 80 degrees or all the way down to 90 degrees. Not on the bracket there, we'll show you in a second what that looks like. But then you can also lock this tiller at 45 degrees there and at 80 degrees there. Really nice if you're a sailor. Oftentimes the tiller can kind of interfere with the main sheet, so this will keep it up or down and out of the way. And to show you that last tiller angle, we're going to take this off of the bracket. So first thing we're going to do is pull our battery off. And then we're going to get in the habit of putting that cover back there. And then there's this little button here, just like on the E-Light. So you're going to press that button in. You don't have to hold it. You just press it and then lift up. Motor comes off. And then the tiller can come down there, and you can actually carry the motor by the tiller, which is really nice. It's a lot easier than doing it from the shaft like you had to do on the older version. And then we'll show you the transom bracket. So unlike the 1.0 Plus and most electric or regular gas outboards, we've got a separate transom bracket. So if you're taking this on and off of your boat, you can leave this attached, take the motor off, makes life a lot easier. This weighs about 5 pounds. It has different trim positions, just like the older version there. But again, way easier, and also makes it so you don't have to lift as much weight when you're getting the motor on and off of your boat, motor and battery. So I'll pop this back on now, just show you how that works. It's pretty straightforward. We're gonna bring the tiller up, drop it back on there, get it nice and straight, clicked on, good to go. Push that down, grab our battery, push it down, pull that lever up, we're ready to go. Actually, before, I think my palm had turned the battery on, which is why I didn't have to hold it, but now hold that button for a couple seconds, power it back on, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so now we're going to test out what sort of speed and range we get on the Spirt 2 at different power outputs. Keep in mind, it's hard to get like exactly on 250 or 500 watts, so these will be estimates. And again, it's a pre-production version. The live range isn't working, so we're going to calculate that later, and then we'll add a chart into this video. We tested the Spirt 2 on the water with the Laguna 330, an 11-foot catamaran-style dinghy from Further Customs. Below 1 kilowatt, our speed was similar to that of other 1 kilowatt or 3 horsepower electric outboards, but with more range given the 1539 watt-hour battery. Before using boost mode, our max speed at 2 kilowatts was 7.4 miles per hour, a significant gain over the 5.1 miles per hour at 1 kilowatt, which is similar to the max speed of the Spirt 1.0 Plus and other 1 kilowatt electric outboards. In boost mode, we were able to get the Laguna on the plane at both 2.5 and 3 kilowatts, maxing out around 12 miles per hour. It's important to note that boost mode only lasts for 1 minute, and the Laguna came back off the plane after boost mode ended. But we were able to hit boost mode again immediately after the 60 seconds was up to stay on the plane. How many times boost mode can be hit again and again remains to be seen, and we plan to do further testing once we have a production unit of the Spirt 2. So a few other things to keep in mind with this motor. We do have pre-orders open. We're expecting full stock in June of 2026. You can go to our website, put a deposit down now, and ensure that you'll get one of those motors off of that initial batch. More than likely, there will be stocking issues with this motor over the summer. So if you know you want it, definitely put in a pre-order now. One other thing to keep in mind is this is a pre-production version. It's one of 2 or 3 that are in North America right now in January of 2026. So there's probably going to be a couple of small changes. Definitely take a look in the description. If we've noticed that we made any errors during this video or there are any changes or corrections, we'll note them in the description below. So definitely take a look down there. We're still learning about this motor too. So we hope you liked this video. If you found it helpful, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and buy one of these motors.